Let us now move to India and see what was happening in the Indian countryside in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. As we know, India is a country in South Asia. It is the seventh largest country by area and the second most populous country in the world. Around 1.2 billion people are living in India, and it is bounded by Indian Ocean on the south and the Arabian Sea on the southwest and Bay of Bengal on the southeast. It shares land borders with Pakistan to the west, China, Nepal and Bhutan to the northeast, and Myanmar, that is Burma and Bangladesh to the east. In addition, India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands share a maritime border with Thailand and Indonesia. India's capital is New Delhi. Other metropolises include Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad and Kolkata. These are the general things regarding India. When we come to our chapter, as you know, British government rule was gradually established in India after the Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey took place in Bengal in 1757. It was a turning point. Over the period of colonial rule, the rural landscape was radically transformed. The British saw land revenue as a major source of government income. In the 18th century, the British developed taste for tea. They imported both silk and tea from China and paid in silver and gold coins to the China. This began to affect the profits of English East India Company when tea became a popular drink in England because they're all silver and gold coins they spent for China. The British discovered that they can trade opium with China in exchange for tea. The British discovered that they can trade opium with China in exchange for tea. Opium, however, was being used in China only for medicinal purpose, and its trade had been banned by Confucius rulers of China. It is considered as a drug. The Confucian rulers of China, that was Manchu's rulers, it is a name of dynasty, were suspicious of all foreign merchants. They feared that the merchants would interfere in local politics and disrupt their authority. So the Manchu's dynasty were unwilling to allow the entry of foreign goods in China. The British then started an illegal trade of opium into China. They smuggled opium into China through their sea route and got it sold through some local agents secretly. Opium was not grown in England but in India by the poor peasants of Bengal. The poor peasants of Bengal were far from happy to grow opium for the British. The British appointed agents who advanced money to the rich landlords, who gave the money to the peasants as loans. The peasants were now forced to grow only opium on the land and hand over the produce to the landlord, and this landlord hand over opium to the British. The Chinese started paying lower rates to the peasants. The British started paying low rates to the peasants and selling the opium to the Chinese at higher rate, thus increasing their profit margins. Peasants tried to resist this exploitation in many ways. They refused to take advances and demanded high rates. Some refused to grow opium and started cultivating potatoes and sugarcane there. There were others who sold off the opium produced by them at higher rates to traveling trade known as pickers. The monopoly of the British over growing opium was broken when states not under British rule like Rajasthan started growing opium and exporting it to China. This affected Bengal farmers.